welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host, Shivangi Mishra. Let's begin with the headlines first. AI-powered smart glasses transforming lives of the visually impaired in India. Dr. Katsuhiko Kawazoi's vision for a connected and harmonious future with IOWN. And UK Parliament shines spotlight on human rights abuses in Sindh and Balochistan. Let's begin the show. Artificial intelligence is transforming lives by boosting efficiency, automating tasks, and improving decision-making and revolutionizing industries like healthcare, education, and transportation. AI is also helping the visually impaired. Let's explore how initiatives in India are changing their lives.
In a small accommodation in a two-story hostel in Delhi's Rohini area lives 23-year-old Juhi, a visually impaired aspiring banker. Her journey reflects resilience as she navigates the challenges of education. Despite relying on Braille, Juhi often faced skepticism about her learning without assistive tools. However, the introduction of AI-powered smart glasses has proven life-changing, helping her and others like her with navigation, reading text, and recognizing objects and faces.
पहले तो ऐसा होता था कि चीज़ों के बारे में मुझे पता नहीं था, तो मतलब पढ़ने में कॉलेज जाती थी, फिर कोचिंग भी ज्वाइन किया मैंने, तो पढ़ने में बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती थी। हालांकि टीचर्स कहते थे बेटा आप पढ़ोगे कैसे, फिर भी हम ब्रेल लिपि के थ्रू नोट्स बनाते थे, अभी बनाते नोट्स बनाते हैं, उससे पढ़ते हैं। और जब से ये स्मार्ट क्लासेस मिला है तो अब इजी होगा हमारे लिए कि हम इससे पढ़ सकते हैं।
To raise awareness and empower people with disabilities, the Voice of Specially Abled People, WOSAP Foundation, recently distributed AI-based smart glasses to over 300 visually impaired students in New Delhi.
mobile app है।
The event, organized by Pranav Desai, a polio survivor and founder of the WOSAP Foundation, saw a large gathering of visually impaired students from Delhi University along with NGOs and contributors supporting technology-driven initiatives for empowering Divyangjan.
मेरे आसपास क्या हो रहा है जरा मुझे विस्तार में बताएं।
इस तस्वीर में एक बड़ा सभागार है जहाँ कई लोग सामूहिक रूप से बैठे हैं। सभागार की कुर्सियाँ लाल रंग की हैं और लोग व्याख्या सुन रहे हैं।
It's a glass with a camera, and that camera can take the photograph. Now the beauty is that camera image is processed by the software. So in fact our volunteers, and I have also shown demo to our people in America, that the software that is in the mobile app connected through the Bluetooth and the camera, and you can hear it in your Bluetooth earplug. It will tell you that who is in front of you. It will read the things in multiple languages. It will help you navigate a lot of things. So this is just the beginning, right?
We identify the problems of wheelchair users and design solutions for them. We have launched our first product called Clippies. It is a clip-on kit that can convert a manual wheelchair into an electric powered one in just 10 to 15 seconds. So user इसको use करके easily अपनी daily life को बहुत ही ज़्यादा independent और accessible बना सकता है।
AI is transforming how visually impaired individuals navigate, communicate, and interact with the world with innovations like smart devices and advanced computer vision systems. Smartphones now feature AI-driven accessibility tools such as Apple's VoiceOver and Google's TalkBack, providing screen reading capabilities, allowing users to interact with devices through voice commands and tactile feedback. These tools help users access information, use apps, and stay connected.
What is the Indian Constitution?
सबसे पहले कंप्यूटर में आया था हमारे लिए जोज नाम से एक सॉफ्टवेयर, जो कि ब्लाइंड कंप्यूटर को रन कर सकता, आराम से चला सकता है बिना किसी उसके, क्योंकि मैं भी खुद ब्लाइंड हूँ और जो उसके बाद टॉक बैक आया मोबाइल के अंदर। आज के समय में आईफोन का टॉक बैक सबसे अच्छा ब्लाइंड के लिए काम कर रहा है। और कंप्यूटर तो आपने देखा ही अभी, एक स्टिक भी निकाली थी हमारे लिए कई लोगों ने, जो कि वाइब्रेट करती थी, दूरी बताती थी, रेंज बताती थी। उसी प्रकार से एआई जो है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस जो है, हमारे लिए काफ़ी उपयोगी सिद्ध हुआ है। हम दूसरों पर निर्भरता हमारी बहुत कम होती जा रही है। इवन देन यहाँ की पहले हमें मल्टीनेशनल कंपनियाँ या बाकी कंपनियाँ गवर्नमेंट के अलावा कहीं और जॉब नहीं मिलती थी, तो अब कुछ कंपनियाँ हमें जॉब भी पर्सनली प्रोवाइड करने लगी हैं।
According to the National Library of Medicine, there are an estimated 4.95 million blind individuals and 70 million people with vision impairment in India, including 0.24 million blind children. With continued innovation and increased accessibility, the future holds immense promise for breaking barriers and creating an inclusive society where everyone, regardless of ability, can thrive.
The Asian Human Rights Forum, in partnership with the World Sindhi Congress and Baloch Human Rights Council, hosted a significant event at London's House of Commons. British MP Bob Blackman facilitated the gathering, highlighted severe human rights violations in Sindh and Balochistan. Executive Director of Asian Human Rights Forum, Arif Azakia, stressed the platform's importance in amplifying marginalized voices. Participants condemned Pakistani media for suppressing reports, urging global attention to the ongoing crisis in these resource-rich yet underdeveloped regions. We have a report.
The Asian Human Rights Forum, in collaboration with the World Sindhi Congress and the Baloch Human Rights Council, organized an event at the House of Commons in London to raise severe human rights violations in Sindh and Balochistan provinces of Pakistan. The event, hosted by British MP Bob Blackman, drew a significant gathering of community members and many human rights activists.
Man was very kind and he booked committee room number 8 in House of Commons, British Parliament, and we held a conference there today, 29 January at 2 p.m. Baloch Human Rights Council and World Sindhi Congress delegation also came there and they presented the cases of Sindh and Balochistan. Bob Blackman, in his opening statement, he said that Pakistan is recipient of British aid in huge amount, and I am afraid that these funds are used against the people of Pakistan, and it worries me that Pakistan is committing such gross violations of human rights.
Human rights activist Arif Azakia emphasized the platform's importance for Sindh and Balochistan's oppressed voices.
And World Sindhi Congress organizer for Europe and UK, Dr. Hidayatullah Bhutto, in his statement spoke very nicely about Sindh's problems. He highlighted the case of land grabbing by Pakistan Army on the name of corporate farming. Pakistan Army is grabbing Sindh's agriculture land. Dr. Hidayat Bhutto brought many facts and figures on this topic. Then Dr. Khurshid Karim from Baloch Human Rights Council presented Baloch case, and he explained that how natural resources of Balochistan are exploited by Pakistan Army for their benefit, and Baloch people are not getting anything. There are no medical facilities, there are no education, there is no safe drinking water.
Activists also allege Pakistani media of suppressing reports on Sindh and Balochistan's human rights crisis, shielding the state and forcing them to seek global awareness. Human rights violations in Sindh and Balochistan, two of Pakistan's most resource-rich yet underdeveloped provinces, have been a subject of growing international concern. Both regions have faced systematic oppression, with reports of forced land seizures, environmental degradation and the exploitation of natural resources by the Pakistani military. The people of these provinces suffer from severe deprivation, including lack of access to basic necessities such as healthcare, education, and clean drinking water. Additionally, the suppression of local media and the silencing of dissent have made it difficult for these issues to be addressed within Pakistan itself. The international community, through organizations like the Asian Human Rights Forum, the World Sindhi Congress, and the Baloch Human Rights Council, has increasingly taken up the cause of raising awareness about these human rights abuses.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
The Kumbh Mela is a grand celebration of spirituality and culture, where the sacred waters of the Ganga, Yamuna, and mythical Saraswati rivers converge. It's also a melting pot of cultures and spiritual seekers from around the globe congregating onto the Kumbh Mela for a piece of Hindu divinity. Almost 30 years ago, a 25-year-old Stanford graduate from Los Angeles came with a backpack to India, seeking peace from her material world with all the worldly comforts, but was mesmerized by the simplicity and spirituality of the Hindu culture that she ended up embracing for the rest of her life. Dressed in traditional Hindu saffron robes, Sadhvi Bhagwati Saraswati has been living on the banks of river Ganga in India's Rishikesh for the past 29 years, spreading a message of peace and Hindu spirituality to a legion of her followers. At the ongoing Kumbh Mela that began on January 13th, she has been busy conducting holy fire rituals, giving religious sermons, conducting evening prayers on the banks of river Ganga, and taking time for meditating. Sadhvi Bhagwati is not alone. With a career spanning 62 years, Japan-based yoga guru Kiku Ekawa, fondly called the Japanese mother in India, has emerged as a leading voice on yoga and Hindu spirituality in Japan, inspiring countless individuals with her wisdom, experience, and passion for the ancient practices. Despite improvements to food insecurity situations in Afghanistan, around one-third of its population are classified to be in acute hunger, according to the country's UN World Food Programme Director. Even though the number of Afghans in acute hunger has decreased from 23 million in 2021 during the peak of the current food crisis to the current number of 15 million, that figure still makes up to a third of the country's population, said WFP's Afghanistan country director Shio Willi from Kabul. Moreover, the food agency can only feed half the millions of Afghans in need after cuts in international aid and impending freeze in US foreign funding. Afghanistan has tipped to the brink of economic crisis in 2021 as the Taliban took over and all development and security assistance to the country was frozen, with restrictions also placed on the banking sector. Since then, humanitarian aid aimed at funding urgent needs through non-profit organizations and bypassing government control has filled some of the gap. Hundreds of Pakistani journalists rallied against a proposed law to regulate social media content that they say is aimed to curbing press freedom and controlling the digital landscape. The law would establish a regulatory authority that would have its own investigation agency and tribunals. Those found to have disseminated false or fake information face prison sentences of up to 3 years and fines of 2 million rupees. The Pakistan Federal Union of Journalists led rallies in cities including Islamabad, Karachi and Lahore to demand the government withdraws the bill, which has been passed by Parliament but has yet to be signed into law by the President. Digital media in Pakistan has already been muffled with measures by telecom authorities to slow down internet speeds, and social media platform X has been blocked for more than a year.
Moving on. 5 years after launching the I Own project, Dr. Katsuhiko Kawazoi has achieved significant milestones. By collaborating with industry experts, NTT can expand the impact of IOWN innovations. For example, ALS patients can create music using muscle-detecting electronics. Dr. Kawazoe envisions a future driven by deep understandings of human activities, redefining technology's role in daily life. We have this report.
5 years have passed since the launch of the IOWN, Innovative Optical and Wireless Network project. Its godparent, Dr. Katsuhiko Kawazoe, has introduced convincing achievements.
こういう IOWN という新しいこの発想だったりこのテクノロジーを見たときにそれぞれの産業の中でこれはこういうふうに使えるかもしれないこれはこういう形で利用することができるっていうことはおそらくは今現在その産業に携わっている人たちが一番よく分かっていると思うんですよね。なのでその人たちと一緒にNTT は連携してこの IOWN をこう広めていくっていうことをしなくちゃいけないというふうに思ってます。トヨタさんはやっぱり最終的にはやっぱり車によってこう事故が起きるっていうことをそれがない世界ですね事故ゼロの世界を目指していきたいということを強く長年考えておられたというふうに聞いてます。これが将来その自動運転車になってでもそのちゃんと事故がゼロっていう中でこの自動車を利用することができるっていうことここで求められるのは常に安定的にこの通信がつながっているっていう状態を作ることとそれに必要な情報とそれによって生み出される新しい知見ですねまさにそのあれは AI が生み出すものだと思いますけどもその AI が生み出された情報をもとに、車が動いていくっていう世界を作っていこうということなのでもうこういうことが、IOWN というテクノロジーがこう入ってくると可能になっていくんじゃないかなというふうに思っています。台湾というお話が出たのでご紹介するともう今や台湾の企業というのはもう台湾の国の中でだけではなくて全世界でその企業は非常に重要な役割を果たしているというものですよね。例えばその半導体産業で言えば TSMC も熊本でも今活動してますけどもこういう企業が例えば一旦ストップしてしまうといろんな産業がダメージを受けるというような状況になってしまいます。台湾という島だけではなくていろいろなところで継続的に役割を果たしていくっていうことが非常に重要だとそれがこうサステナブルに継続するっていうことが重要だというふうに考えられます。例えばここがなんか障害が起きた時にストップしてしまうという事態になった時にいかにこれを別の場所に避難できるかそこで継続できるかということが非常に重要になります。圧倒的にインドという国が非常に強いのはソフトウェア産業だと思うんですね。専用のハードウェアを作らなくてもソフトウェアで実現できるっていう世界が今後さらに広がっていくというふうに思います。ソフトウェアで実現できる世界を作るといった時に非常に強い今ポテンシャルを持っているのがインドだと思うんですね。インドというのはやっぱりその人口も非常に多いのでこのソフトウェアを開発するっていった時にいかにその労働力も含めてですねたくさん満たされていてかつ優秀な技術者がいるかといったところがキーポイントになっていくと思うんです。私は価値の論理の世界かなと思ってまして数の論理っていうのはみんなが同じでなくちゃいけないとにかく数を集めた人が唯一のウィナーであるという世界から世界に散在するいろいろある考え方だったり文化だったり宗教だったり、それはみんな違うんだけどもでもお互いにそれを認め合ったりリスペクトしていくっていうことのそういう世界にこう生み出すことができたらよりそう多分平和であって安全で非常にこうウェルビーイングな社会になるんじゃないかなというふうに思うんですよね。でもこれをじゃあインターネットで実現できるかっていうと先ほどから言ってますようにちょっと無理がある限界があるというふうにも思えるのでこの受け皿としておそらくなり得るのがまさに IOWN かなというふうに考えています。
Scientist and philosopher Dr. Kawazoe envisions an innovative future rooted in a deep understanding of daily human activities around the world.
The breathtaking landscape of Gulmarg is the perfect backdrop for the 4th National Curling Championship, putting Jammu and Kashmir in the spotlight. The event serves as a launchpad for aspiring athletes and allows us to appreciate the rich diversity of our nation while fostering a shared love for sports. As teams compete with passion and determination, we witness a vibrant spirit of unity and progress setting the stage for India to shine on the global winter sports arena.
Located in the picture is Gulmarg, Jammu and Kashmir. The 4th National Curling Championship is currently captivating sports enthusiasts. Curling is a precision sport played on ice, where teams slide stones towards a target area known as house.
यहाँ पे हम होस्ट कर रहे हैं 4th कर्लिंग सब जूनियर, जूनियर एंड सीनियर नेशनल चैम्पियनशिप, जिसमें 19 स्टेट्स पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं ऑल ओवर इंडिया। और हमारी जम्मू कश्मीर भी टीमें पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं। 14 प्लेयर्स फ्रॉम J&K जो लगातार 4 साल से मेरिटोरियस है और मेडल विनर्स है। हम ओवरऑल चैम्पियंस रहे हैं हर एक कैटेगरी में।
Though curling is new to India's sports scene compared to cricket and hockey, the national championship is paving the way for its growing recognition and popularity in the country. With curling being an Olympic sport as well as winter sport, curling is attracting students from Kashmir who are not only participating but also excelling by winning tournaments.
हमारा बहुत अच्छा कंपटीशन रहा है और हम ऑलरेडी 3 साल से खेल रहे हैं। हमारे अच्छे खासे मेडल्स हैं, गोल्ड मेडल्स हैं हमारे। तो हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि जो ये वाला नेशनल है हम यहाँ से भी मेडल ले जाएं।
The competition has drawn top curling athletes, all vying for victory. This prestigious event sees 19 state teams from across India competing for national title, showcasing the country's growing interest in the sports of curling. Gulmarg's world-class infrastructure, set against the backdrop of its snow-capped mountains and freezing temperatures, provides the perfect environment for this exciting winter sport.
मुझे बेहद खुशी है कि हम लोग यहाँ पर आए हैं और मेरे लिए बहुत गर्व की बात है कि मैं अपनी यूपी स्टेट को प्राउड फील करा सकूं और इंशाल्लाह हम लोग यहाँ से मेडल लेकर जाएंगे, अपनी टीम को जिता कर जाएंगे।
मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है यहाँ पर पार्टिसिपेट करके। यहाँ पर मौसम भी बहुत अच्छा है, नेचुरल स्नो भी है और हम कोशिश करेंगे कि हम अपनी टीम के लिए गोल्ड लेके जाएं।
On the other hand, players arrived from different parts of the country are given special attention to help them acclimate to the chilly climate and conditions here.
Good curling, good curling, good curling.
To ensure their comfort and performance, specific preparations have been made to meet their needs, including heated accommodations, customized meals, and dedicated transportation support.
बाहर से बच्चे हैं, बर्फ़ का एक्सपोजर नहीं है, तो उनको हमें सेंट्रल हीटिंग सिस्टम एकोमोडेशन दे रहे हैं। उनका खाना, उनके सूटेबल खाना हम प्रोवाइड कर लेते हैं और उनका ट्रांसपोर्टेशन भी है। हमारा कंट्रोल रूम बना है। अगर आप वो देखोगे, हमने वो फेसबुक पेजेस पे भी, हमारे कर्लिंग फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया के पेजेस पे भी अवेलेबल है। जिस कंट्रोल रूम में हम हमेशा एकोमोडेशन के अपने 2 बंदे रखते हैं, मेडिकल इमरजेंसी के रखते हैं, ट्रांसपोर्ट इंचार्ज होता है और गेम और सपोर्ट्स के लिए जो भी टेक्निकल सपोर्ट होता है उनके लिए हमारे हर एक वॉलंटियर हमारा अलग होता है।
With remarkable skill and unwavering support, this championship not only showcases the potential of curling but also sets the stage for its future development within India's winter sports arena.
Now it's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We'll be back next week at the same time. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.